Next up at UFC Vegas 69, we have AJ Fletcher taking on Themba Gorimbo. AJ Fletcher's 9-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He is looking for his first UFC win. Themba Gorimbo 10-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's making his official UFC debut. I said this in Quick Picks. I can't say Themba without thinking I have like a swollen tongue or a lisp. Somebody said the H is silent. No, I think the H is silent. It's Themba. Anyway, AJ Fletcher, hardcore wrestler. Short, jacked, fast, dynamic striking as well. When you break down his film,
short.
I think people figured out that you're not a very tall person.
First of all, nope. We're ready. Here we go. You want me to scroll up here? Let me find it. Ba-da-ba-da-ba.
I'm trying to do the intro and the breakdown here, so it's a whole thing.
No, this is much more important. Much more important. Did he delete it or something? Let's see.
I have not been.
Here we go. Comments. John says Jacob was way taller than I thought he would be in the vlog. Thank you.
Literally, the most popular comment on the vlog is, "Oh my God, Jacob really is short." That's the.
But I don't know how. I'm not even. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know how. First of all, you're short. I don't know how they figured it out. The only thing I could think of is at one point you're standing next to the door, and I think they're like, that's either the biggest door I've ever seen.
When I walk through doors.
Okay. Maybe when you're creeping around in little kids' playhouses. Uncle Jake, pervert.
Uncle Jake.
Anyway, Fletcher. AJ Fletcher's a dynamic wrestler. He's got some decent striking as well. You're going to break down his tape. You're going to see knockdowns. You're going to see knockouts. Everything from head kicks to overhand rights. He's a pretty well-rounded guy. He's fast. He's strong. Great wrestler. Maybe it didn't need the second great. Very good wrestler. And what I do love is he drops and shoots. He will shoot clean doubles and try to run right through them. The problem is everything I just said, while it is true, that is not what we saw in his last fight. He's got 2 UFC fights. The first one was short notice against Matt Semmelsberger. He looked great. I think he won that fight. He scored more points in DraftKings than Semmelsberger did, and DraftKings got the 30-point win bonus. His last fight was not so much. He didn't have that explosiveness. He wasn't, he just did not look himself. Angelou sort of worked him over. And now I can't trust the guy, but he is fighting Themba Gorimbo. He's a distance striker. He manages range well. He picks his shots. He's super long for the weight class, and he uses that length to sort of keep you at bay. He's typically a counter striker, but when he sees his openings, he will charge forward. He does not have the raw power that you want to see from a striker. He can be a bit sloppy when he's running in for sure. This is a tough pick because this line movement, I expect the opposite, right? Meaning the last fight we saw, I thought that would get wider. This fight, it should get tighter. AJ Fletcher should win this fight. Themba Gorimbo's got long legs. He should be able to get to those legs, take him down, beat him up. AJ Fletcher should absolutely be able to do that. But I cannot trust that dude with my money. Not after the Angelou fight. I cannot trust that guy with my money. So I do think AJ Fletcher wins. I am not spending minus 240. He is not in the safety parlay. Just spoiler alert for non-members. He's not in the safety parlay. I don't trust him. The odds tell you that maybe he should be. The movement especially does. I don't trust him. If you're not a premium member, become one, and you will have access to the line movement tracker. You can follow his movement throughout the week. And if you're waiting for the price to come down, check it out. Check out the line movement tracker. Stay in touch with it, and you'll see it come down. But anyway, I think AJ Fletcher wins. I am absolutely not spending that money on him. And Mbaye, you're not the first person to say this. AJ Fletcher was fighting at high altitude. There were 2 people in that fight. They both were fighting at high altitude. Angelou didn't look like shit. So I dismissed that comment. Jacob, what do you think?
Well, I'll tell you exactly why AJ Fletcher looked awful, and especially in the third round, he couldn't do anything. And that was because he did everything he could to get Angelou out of there in the second round. He was absolutely dominating that fight, should have finished that fight. He tried to finish that fight. He did everything he could to try and finish that fight and then gasped when the ref did not stop the fight. I will never discredit somebody for being tired when they're tired for chasing a finish, right? You cannot blame somebody for blowing their gas tank when they're trying to finish the fight because he could have easily just laid there, taking his time, got into the third round, this and that. We've seen fighters time and time again. They will try to chase that finish and they're doing everything to get this finish, and they don't get the finish, and then they get absolutely gassed. It happens. I don't blame the guy. It's not like he was just like getting beat up and gave up or whatever. He tried to chase a finish, and he was doing really well in that fight up until he did get tired trying to chase chase a finish, especially early. His boxing early is very, very good. I mean, the way he slips shots, when he is working forward and he's not getting hit yet, his boxing is so crisp and so slick. And I think he's going to have some real success, especially early against Gorimbo. But the issue is, as he's getting hit, the head movement stops. Now he's starting to get hit. He has the wrestling. I don't think he needs to use the wrestling in this. I wouldn't use the wrestling because in my mind, and this is going to be a little bit disrespectful, but I mean it, no disrespect. When I'm watching Gorimbo, Themba Gorimbo, whatever you want to call him, when I'm watching him fight, I just don't see a UFC caliber fighter, right? On the ground, off his back. I know he's got all these wild submissions. I think he's got arm bars, triangles, guillotines. You're probably not going to, when you have all those type of submissions stacked up, those aren't the submissions you're getting in the UFC. Yeah, you might get one here and there, but getting arm bars off your backs and triangles off your backs, it just does not happen at a high level, especially against a guy as experienced as AJ Fletcher is. So, and in the striking, I just don't see. I mean, he has knockouts and stuff, but everything seems a little bit slow, a little bit looping. AJ should dominate inside the pocket in the strike. If he wants to wrestle, he should be able to withstand the stuff, but I think he just moves forward and just basically just outboxes this guy. I just do not see UFC level. I mean, maybe he can, if he comes out and surprise me, great, but I think that's why the odds. I don't think it's so much about AJ Fletcher. I think people are like, all right, who's this Themba guy? Let me see. And they're like, I just don't see it. So I think that's why the odds are getting wide, and I actually like AJ Fletcher in this matchup a lot.
Listen, I think I don't know if Ansi is being sarcastic or he's serious. I think AJ Fletcher wins this fight. I love AJ Fletcher. I'm a big AJ Fletcher guy. I just can't trust him at this point. I've been 0 for 2 on picking him. I'm gonna pick him again. He's the pick for sure.
Right.
But am I gonna put my money? I'm not spending money on him. That's my thing. I can't trust him with my money. So he definitely should win. He should be able to dude, Themba's tall, long, skinny legs. AJ Fletcher should be able to run right through those legs. As you mentioned, he's got clean, crisp boxing. I don't know what's the reach difference? I'm not a big reach fan. I think that's such a stupid stat that people
I think it's stupid. I think it's a little stupid too. Because if somebody has a 2-inch reach advantage, that means it's 1 inch on one hand. And it's 1 inch.
This is
holy shit.
9. This is 9 inches. But
so it's a 4.5. But if you don't know how to use it, it's pointless.
Well, and that's why I think you're going to watch other shows where they have every stat imaginable, and then they focus on stuff like that. The reach doesn't matter. If you watch any breakdown and they say Themba Gorimbo's long reach is going to be a problem, they don't care about anything other than the numbers because he doesn't fight that way. He does manage distance, but he's not here.
Physically, when you're looking at him, it's going to be like, oh shit, how do I get inside? But the second AJ realizes this guy's not throwing stuff tight through the middle, and AJ can just kind of walk into it, he's going to be fine.
Plus, styles make fights, and AJ Fletcher's just going to drop and dive at those legs. So I think AJ wins. I am not going to trust him with my money. I do not have him in the safety parlay. When he gets that first UFC win, then it's going to be a whole different situation, right? But for now, not just yet. Even though I do think he wins, we do have a couple of super chats. Quint Lazenby, good evening, everyone. Like the stream, buy premium. Thank you very much, Quint. Very appreciated. I saw somebody ask how to buy it. You must be joking because telling people how to buy premium is basically a second language to me. You just need to go to WeWantPicks.com and click become a member at the top. Thank you very much, Quint. And then we have another one from Hari Turu. Which of your partners has the best deposit bonus, lowest rollover requirement? So we have Zach fight in UFC before Usman. Two things. You don't need to do the deposit match or the rollover. A lot of people like deposit matches with our partners because you literally get free money. But certainly when you do a deposit match, there's requirements, right? You can't deposit $1,000, get $1,000 from them, and then withdraw the money. You have to bet it. And there's usually minimums. Like you have to bet that money like 4 times or 5, whatever it is. Then you can do whatever you want with it. Check them all out. I don't know the matches off the top of my head, but they'll be spelled out very clearly on the join pages. BetOnline is our preferred sportsbook because they have the earliest lines and the most amount of prop bets. The converse of that is, sometimes you don't want early lines. You want normalized odds if you're not going to get ahead of the movement. And your second question, we have Zach fighting before Usman. That's the co-main event. Frankly, Zach was more of he already knew how to fight, right? He was up at heavyweight, shouldn't be at heavyweight. It was for the show. He can fight. Usman probably needs a little more time to tighten things up. So take that extra time, tighten it up for sure. And thank you very much for that super chat.